Hey, what's up guys, it's Thomas today, and today marks 2 years since Subtracted was officially released, and in today's video I'm going to talk about Subtracted, the OG Subtracted, guys. Yes, and yeah, let's get straight on with the video, let's go. So first, I'm going to talk about the first time Ed mentioned Subtracted, and it was on a Spotify interview. Well, not necessarily an interview, but Ed talking about all the songs of Subtracted and then all on Spotify. And when Ed talks about the Hills of Aberfeldy, Ed mentioned about the OG Subtracted. That was the first time Ed mentioned about Subtracted, the name Subtracted, you know, guys. And yeah, I'm going to play you guys this clip right now. Let's go.
I don't think I've realised Subtract how I always imagined it to be, because I never imagined it to be like this, but that's why it's perfect. That's why this is exactly how Subtract should be. My favourite singer-songwriter records are like Damien Rice's O, David Gray's White Ladder, James Blunt's Back to Bedlam, and they're just 10 songs perfect, like every single song's perfect. And in my mind, that was what Subtract was. Whereas the themes of Subtract now, it's all about learning to live without things, you know, taking things away. I always saw Subtract as a genre. You strip everything away and it's acoustic guitar, but I think it's so much more than that. It's what it's meant to be, but it's not what I thought it should be. The only song that was originally written for Subtract that made the album is The Hills of Aberfeldy, and that's because it's always ended Subtract, putting like 10 years worth of work into something. I wanted to have that represented in some way just for me. But all the other music that was made for Subtract is still there. I don't know if it turns into Subtracted or something else, but it's definitely going to see the light of day.
Yes, guys, Subtracted. The name of the OG Subtracted. I do think it's going to be called Subtracted, guys, which I just cannot wait for. You know, what was supposed to be Subtracted before the bad stuff started happening in Ed's life in early 2022, which was 3 years ago now, which is crazy to think about. And of course, Subtracted came out 2 years ago, which is just insane to think about. One of the songs of Subtracted, the OG Subtracted, is called Italia. And, you know, I cannot wait to hear Italia. Imagine Ed sings in Italian on that song, guys. I could imagine that. I can really imagine that, guys. Ed singing in Italian. And then this next clip that I'm going to share, guys, credits to Ed Sheeran Mathematics Tour fan page on Instagram for filming this. And it was someone asking Ed what Italia's gonna, a song about Italy, you know, which I think is gonna be called Italia. And yeah, let's play that clip now. Let's go.
Yeah, about the new album?
Yeah.
There's a rumor going that like the last song or one of the songs is about Italy.
Oh no, I did write.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, I made the entire album in lockdown.
Okay, yeah.
And then I actually remade it in at the beginning of this year.
Oh, okay.
in a week. I was just kind of like a lot happened. And I just wrote a load of songs.
Okay.
And now that's the album. So that album will come out.
Oh, that's another one. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it in Italian or is it just about Italy?
No. It's about we basically drove to Italy mid lockdown.
Yeah.
Lived there for a bit. And learned Italian and all of that stuff. Yeah.
So yes, guys, with the version of Subtracted that Ed was working on for over 10 years, that will be eventually out one day, and that's what we're talking about in this video, guys. Of course, Subtracted, guys. Subtracted, you know, which I just cannot wait for to hear this album whenever Ed's gonna release Subtracted. Yes, you know, which is so exciting, you know. And also, last year Ed was on it. Ed did a little Spotify listening party, and fans asked Ed questions. And this one fan asked Ed about the OG Subtracted. And of course about Play. Of course we know everything about Play now, guys. We know everything about Play. And also we're just stripping everything back in this video today, guys, which of the 2 year anniversary of Subtracted, just talking about Subtracted, the OG Subtracted. And yeah, I'm gonna play you guys this little clip now from that Spotify listening Q&A party. Right now, let's go.
Do you have anything you want to know? Any sort of question?
I mean, you know, I'm a pretty hardcore fan, so I'm gonna be asking you questions like, you know, I'm not sure you want to say, but like 2? Like, what's the status of play? And then are we ever gonna get the OG Subtract?
Yeah, so
Oh my god,
so
this is so crazy.
I've been overly recording for the last like the Subtract that came out and Autumn Variations essentially derailed a lot of stuff that I had going on, just because that was like I had to release that at that time. So there's loads and loads of backed up stuff. I'd say the next album's going to come next year, and possibly I'm trying to work out a way to do OG Subtracts that's not like, that's just a bit like cooler, that's like not trying to release it into the ether, trying to make it anything. I kind of want to my original idea was to just like white label it and put it in a vinyl store without anything on it and just let people discover it, but apparently that's not the right idea to do. But I thought that would have been cool. But yeah, we'll see. But
Yes, guys, literally, Ed said he had ideas of white labeling it, but I don't think he'll do that. What I think what will happen for Subtracted, maybe it will all be physical, no streaming, just physical on a CD and vinyl and cassette, and that's it for Subtracted. It won't be released on streaming. I think that'll be the best possible outcome of what Ed might to do with Subtracted, is to release it physically, just exclusive physically, not on streaming, not online, just physical to release Subtracted, you know, guys. Yes, which I just cannot wait to hear this album. Or I think this album is gonna, Subtracted is gonna be lo-fi acoustic. 10 perfect acoustic songs that Ed's written from 2011 to like 2022-ish, of course. Yeah, you know. But yeah, which I cannot wait to hear this album, Subtracted. You know, what was supposed to be Subtracts. And also one more thing, guys, one more thing in this video. Of course, Ed made his old phone, Teddy's old phone, and then he literally said on one of the posts, song I wrote called Mr McDaid will be on Subtracted. Ed just spoiling the album already. A song called Mr McDaid. I do think that's going to be about Johnny McDaid, you know, who's very, very close with, who he writes songs with all the time, Johnny McDaid. And the lyrics are, you planted trees under the shade of which you'd never sit, which was written on the 10th of January 2013. That's how far back we're going for Subtracted, guys, which I just cannot wait to hear Subtracted whenever Ed will release it. Maybe it could be next year, guys. Maybe it could be next year. But Ed said it twice. Of course, a Spotify interview and on Teddy's old phone, Subtracted, which I just cannot wait to hear, you know. And maybe it could be out next year, guys. Of course, this year, 2025, is going to be fully play in 2025, maybe 2026 when we're going to finally hear Subtracted, the OG Subtracts, you know. And of course, you know, I'm still happy we got the Subtracts that we got, you know, because Ed went through so much in early 2022. He had to write all these songs, you know, which he had to release this album, that iteration of Subtracts. But the OG Subtracted that he was working on for over 10 years, you know, which I cannot wait to hear. And yeah, I wonder if there's going to be an OG version of Hills of Aberfeldy. Like, literally just... Of course, we've got the Hills of Aberfeldy on this Subtracts that we've got already, but on Subtracted, I would love an OG demo version, or just adding 40 Vance, just playing it acoustically on Subtracted. That would be amazing, because the Hills of Aberfeldy was supposed to end the OG Subtracts, the Subtracted, you know, which I just can't wait to hear Subtracted. And of course, Italia and Mr McDaid, which I just cannot wait to hear Subtracted whenever Ed's planning to release it. I don't think it'll be on streaming. I do think it's going to be physical, exclusive, vinyl, CD and cassette, which I think so, you know. And yeah, and hope you guys enjoyed this video of me talking about Subtracted, the OG Subtracts, and yeah. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.